Manufacturers have addressed the need for correcting shaky footage with electronic image stabilization, or fuzzy logic, built into some camcorders. A Steadicam Junior, which is a consumer version of the professional Steadicam. Clamping devices which hook onto your car for dollying. And dolly wheels, which attach to the bottom of tripods so you can roll them along the floor.
Not only are people wanting to move their cameras deliberately, but in some cases, people are moving their cameras too much, because as you get into these small little cameras, the palm quarters, a lot of people think they can just tote those things around and, shoot to their heart's content. What's actually happening, though, is they're shaking the camera a lot, and they're getting a lot of unstable footage. So besides just having these devices so that you can get nice smooth camera moves, they're being made so that the average Joe Blow who's just not really thinking about his shooting can get better looking images. And an example of that is the electronic image stabilization, which electronically stabilizes any jitter. It gives you a bit of tolerance. You can be a bit shaky. And some of the newer cameras employing fuzzy logic to eliminate some shake. These are all electrical devices that use computer chip technology, but what it does is it uses a series of hundreds of calculations, and it says, okay, the guy is doing this. We will counterbalance it by doing this, and the computer goes through a series of calculations and smooths out the imaging that the camera is producing. The other thing is that Steadicam Junior is quite a novel device. You couldn't appreciate it there. It's about $600. You put your camera on it, or your compact camera. It doesn't take a full-size camera. The Steadicam, that one you saw there, is not designed for a full-size camera. It's designed for the small ones. And it has almost like a series of counterbalancing weights, seemingly working on the principle of if you had to walk a tightrope across Niagara Falls, for example, and you had a balancing bar, it would stabilize you. Well, this kind of device works underneath the camera and stabilizes the movement in the camera. It's designed after the professional Steadicam. The same inventor that the Steadicam that's used in Hollywood professionally designed a miniature one for camcorder enthusiasts. I should make a comment too that you have to be careful when you're thinking about moving your camera that you're doing it for a purpose. And remember, if you want to increase production value, often moving the camera is a way to do it. What do I mean by production value? Well, many of you go to movies and you probably take it for granted, but when you watch a movie, think about how often the camera is actually moving. Not necessarily the people moving, the people can be moving too, but is the camera moving as well? And you'll often notice it's used a lot in Hollywood movies because it adds this sense of production value to the way your videos look. But to do it correctly does require the proper tools. And one of the reasons they developed this little Steadicam Junior was to help people who want to move their cameras around with the action to increase the so-called production value. So you have to learn how to do it. Have to have the tools to do it too. And ones that attach to your car, other applications like that are probably a little bit more specialized if you really wanted to get out and do some movie making. But dollying can also be done on a tripod using dolly wheels. This is a set of dolly wheels that goes on the base of a tripod, and the tripod sits above it, and you can move this along a floor and get very smooth camera moves using a device like this. And they're available at all levels and all prices. Just remember, though, as consumers, a lot of the camera stores are starting to carry professional kind of stuff, but it's junk. You could get a set of dolly wheels at a cheap, an inexpensive discount store, and you'll find that they're just an inferior product that isn't going to do anything for your movie making. Remember, they have to be used on a very smooth floor. You can't even use this effectively really on the street outside because pavement is ripply and pebbly. And on a carpet like we're on here, it would even show some jerkiness. The trick is to have a very smooth floor, almost like lino.